All right, I'm here this morning with Mike Coe of UK Sailmakers. Mike, what boat are you sailing on, and what are you doing on the boat?
I'm sailing with Gary Panariello on the 1313 Courageous, and I'm doing the tactics and jib trim on the boat.
Gotcha. Let's talk about jib trim for a second. How did you set up yesterday? Were you actively trimming the jib sheet? Where were your jib lead cars? Talk about what you were seeing.
So the jib lead cars were at the tuning guide number. We don't really move much from there as the conditions change, but yesterday the breeze was kind of up and down and shifting back and forth, kind of faster than Gary could turn the boat to kind of compensate for it. So I was really active. You know, a puff would come on with a lift and we'd ease a whole bunch to try and get speed before we would try and get height. The shifts were really large and dramatic, so it was really much more important to go faster in them than it was to try and sail with height. So that sort of called for a lot of jib sheet adjustment.
Gotcha. When you say a lot of jib sheet adjustment, are you talking 2 inches, a foot?
Yeah.
What's the range there?
Yeah, I sort of call it as you see it. You know, it sort of depends on how much it shifts and everything, but we're probably going through 4 inches.
Gotcha.
Probably.
Cool. Strategically, what side of the course did you want in the first beat yesterday?
So we sailed the NAs where we were kind of aggressive with our choice of the sides of the race course. So we decided that we really wanted to start in the middle and kind of see how the race unfolded, because in the NAs we sort of picked a side and we were often wrong. It didn't work out for us. So this race we started in the middle, sailed at the first beat, which is pretty conservative. And in the first beat, the left came in pretty hard, which is what we expected because there was advantageous current going upwind. So we figured in the second beat, the left would really pay. So we took a right turn at the bottom gate and went up the left of the second beat, and it didn't pay, and we lost probably 10 boats. So there you go again. Wrong again.
Well, half the race was right.
Right, yeah.
Cool.
Yep.
All right, so today, what are you expecting to see?
A light, kind of probably a strong kind of gradient, and dying quickly. So as the breeze dies quickly, it should favor the shore side, I would think.
Gotcha.
But we'll have to see what we see when we get out there.
Cool. One final question. From a rig tune standpoint, I think the quantum sails that you're sailing are probably sailed lighter than the norths that a lot of the other teams seem to be sailing.
Tension-wise on the rig, you mean? Yep.
Yeah, tension up the rig, exactly. Yep. What's that about, and you know, what are you looking for? Once you tune the rig, you're looking at the sail, I'm assuming, and what are you trying to see?
Basically just trying to make sure that the sail, on conditions like this, we're trying to make sure the mainsail is full enough, that the boat has enough height, you know, that the boat is able to point. Secondarily, we're looking for enough headstay sag that the boat's able to go fast.
Gotcha.
So those are two things. So the fullness of the main is driven by the diagonal tensions, and the headstay sag is driven by the cap tensions. So another thing I've found is that J80s, depending on maybe age or when they were built in the construction cycle or which mast they have, they tend to respond very differently. So I've found in these boats the tuning guide isn't necessarily cut and dry. So one of the things we did on Gary's boat was work hard at the lighter, and Gary has quite a stiff rig, quite a stiff boat, so we take off a lot more turns than the tuning guide calls for because the boat is so stiff.
Gotcha.
So that's something to really kind of spend some time researching as you get used to your boat.
Cool. All right, Mike. Well, thanks a lot. Good luck today.
Sure thing.